Yo, what's going on, family? Welcome to the Black Male Podcast. This is a space where we delve deep into the experiences, the challenges, and the triumphs of black men in today's society. I'm your host, Mike Sears, and each and every week, we're going to bring you some inspiring stories, some insightful discussions, and actionable advice tailored specifically for black men looking to navigate and excel in all facets of life. I'm talking from personal development, mental health, relationships, career growth, social justice, cultural identity, and the list goes on. We'll do our best to cover it all. Our mission is to empower, educate, and uplift, creating a community where black men, let me say that again, where black men can speak, be heard, and grow together. Whether you're looking for guidance, inspiration, or just a space to connect with like-minded individuals, you've come to the right place. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's episode of the Black Male Podcast. Real quick, my name is Mike Sears, and I wrote a book, y'all, a little over, not quite a year ago. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's supported thus far, and even, that's been impacted by what I was able to write in the book, and also those that are going to, in the future, get the book. With that being said, just show you a quick picture of it. The name of the book is called Male Functioning. The subtitle is Get Out of Your Own Way and Execute Your Dream Life Play. Before we get into the introduction of today's guest, I just want to read a brief excerpt from the book, and I want to focus on something that I think everybody listening has experienced at some point in their life, no matter how old or how young you are. It's this four-letter word that I think all of us have had to, in some way or another, overcome. The four-letter word that I'm talking about is fear. Fear can literally do like the book says, get in your way. It can paralyze you, keep you from moving forward because you get in your head and you start thinking that you can't do something that you really can. And the fact that you've never done it before, or you don't know how you're going to get it done, or you don't feel like you're worthy enough, fear can literally stop you from moving forward. So I just want to read something briefly that I wrote in the book about getting out of your own way. It simply says, don't block yourself. You have to be careful not to block yourself from your own blessings. It's possible for you to get in your own way, but not always easy for you to see or identify. For instance, if you were trying to walk through an open door and there was something or someone standing directly in front of that door, it's easy for you to see and identify what or who is blocking you. You can then attempt to remove that person or that thing from the doorway so you can proceed through that doorway. However, when you won't walk through an open door because of something you're thinking in your head or feeling in your heart, you don't always recognize those as obstacles. In a sense, that's what I just described. Something as simple as fear, something in your head, something that's keeping you from walking through an open door. It's an opportunity. It's something that's for you. It's something that's yours. It's something that God created you for. It's your purpose. But simply because you don't feel worthy enough, simply because you don't look like the person that you just saw walk through the door, you don't look like them, and so you don't feel like, nah, this might not be for me. Or you see other people prospering and they're not working as hard as you feel like you're working, but they seem to be getting all the results. They seem to be, getting the things that you feel like you should be. Fear can literally paralyze you and cripple you. And so I just want to encourage you to don't allow fear to stop you. Some people say that Fear is false evidence appearing real. And a lot of times, whether you believe that or not, that's what it is. You fear what you don't know, and it's really false. It looks real, but it's really not. So that's my exhortation for today. I just wanted to just kind of motivate you to not be fearful and not be afraid. And whatever that thing is, and you fill in the blank, whatever that thing is that you've been wanting to do, and you've been putting it off for whatever reason, just do it. I'm here today overcoming a fear. Not so much a fear, but just procrastinating, having detours and different things, distractions from starting this podcast. I know that this is something that I'm meant to do, that I'm supposed to do. But guess what? I'm here now. I'm here today. Amen. I'm getting it done, and we're doing it.
Good stuff.
So, with that being said, moving on to the next part of this show. Again, it's a platform for men, for us to talk, for us to show that men can be unified, men can come together. So to also show that we have some of the same struggles, we go through some of the same things, and if we would come together and work together, we can probably get a lot more done. So I want to introduce my guest. He's my first guest, my first podcast. Here's my first guest. This is a brother that I've known for years. We literally went to high school together, and then we spent some time together in college, and so I've been knowing him just that long. I know you don't know how old I am, and I'm not sharing it, but it's been a while. I've known him for a long time. But he's on the show because he has a story to tell. And literally today, he is an up-and-coming actor. He has several businesses, so he's an entrepreneur. He works hard. He's an all-around good guy. But listen, I don't want to steal his shine. I want him to come on. His name is Armando King. Let's give it up for my brother and my friend. What's going on, good brother?
Hey, brother. Thank you. I appreciate the wonderful introduction, man.
No, man, you doing your thing. So, just tell us a little bit about you and how you came into the acting space, as well as the starting your own business.
Okay. First of all, man, I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. You're doing your thing. I remember when you was talking about doing the podcast and many of the things that you're embarking on in life, man. And you've been chipping away, man. Thank God you've been chipping away, and I appreciate. I'm the first guest.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So where you want me to start now?
Talk about entrepreneurship by far is not easy at all, and acting either. People see people in front of the camera, whether it's the big screen or on television, on stage, and sometimes you look at what they're doing and you say, "Oh man, I can do that," and until you get a script in your hand and you have to do all the things that's necessary to become that character, man, it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And so I want you to talk about your process. How did what made you even think about wanting to pursue acting? We'll start there, and then I also want you to talk about another difficult task, and that's becoming an entrepreneur. Again, people like the freedom of having their own business and, being able to kind of control the money that they're making and such, but that ain't easy either.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew up, in church plays, school plays, and I took a special passion to it, man. A love of it, man. It made me feel some type of way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It made me feel free, man, and and to see the onlookers, the people, after it's over with, they're like, oh yeah, man, you this and that and everything. Mm-hmm. We enjoyed it, whatever, So as I was Man, people keep on calling me.
You famous.
Hey, whatever. But no, cause this like to tell this story, man. It's like I gotta kind of jump. If you don't mind.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now, as I was coming up, church, school plays, like I said, I was in plays, doing a little mile and everything, and at 19, well, we was in high school, college, and you already know when we was in college, when I went out of town. Yeah, man, I had did some I did made wrong choices. I made wrong choices, and I went to prison or whatnot. But even in there, it was still in my heart. You know what I'm saying? I like God told me what I was supposed to be doing. Like I knew it. You know what I'm saying? So sitting on that bunk plenty of times, going through my mind, and fantasizing, because we got a lot of time to do that or whatever. So we fantasizing, thinking about the things that you did or shouldn't do. And I went to one particular, and now I look back and see it in hindsight, and I always say this. This what I say. God was always setting me up.
Okay.
He was always setting me up in the good way, of course.
Yeah.
Because God is good.
Yes, sir.
So I went to this particular facility while I was locked up, and he's a great buddy of mine now too, man, Mark Costa. And he always, he was able, the prison allowed him to give plays.
Oh, wow.
To give plays, and he's always, it's a message and it's positive all the time. So while I'm in there, man, God allowed me to practice my craft to prepare me somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat having to still, when I came out here, which I didn't know that. But now I look back and say, wow. Wow.
That's interesting. And I say that because that's something that I didn't know. And I started this segment talking about fear. And, fear is something that we have to overcome in order to get to the place that we're trying to get to in life. And whatever the obstacle is, that was an obstacle. Whatever your obstacle is something that you have to overcome in order to get to the other side of that, to experience the joys and the triumphs of life. And that was an obstacle for you. That's something that, like you said, you made wrong choices. But you didn't, you overcame that.
Amen.
So big ups to that.
Amen. Thank God.
Because there's a lot of people that don't. A big word, recidivism, is real. Meaning there are people that when they do leave prison, they're expected to return or to be a repeat offender.
Revolving door.
Exactly. But that's something that you've overcome. Now, I know you didn't talk a lot about it, but you went in. You said you was 19.
Right. So thank God that I had the mindset to want to change.
Yeah.
And the reason I use that word, I try to, because words got meaning. I particularly use the word as far as taking accountability, and I said I made the wrong choice. I ain't make no mistake.
Yeah.
I ain't get caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
I gave up my freedom.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sadly, I gave up my freedom.
Yeah.
So I did 17 years straight.
Wow.
For armed robbery. And in that time, God was working on me, man. I wasn't in there, the whole time doing what I, should have did. But at some point, He grabbed hold on to me, man. And He spoke to my heart and said, "Hey, if you want to go back out there and stay out there, you're gonna have to get out here first."
Wow. Wow.
So I mean, and He just He continued to place me in positions around different people, around different situations, to make me continue to focus on what I need to do to change and become a better person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To do introspect.
Right.
So while I was in there, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I told myself I didn't want to come out like I went in,
right.
Spiritually, mentally, or physically.
Right.
So I needed to figure out what necessary steps to take to get to this goal.
Yeah.
Just like the acting. So when I came out, it's a lot of stuff, man, I can't even take credit for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just put people in my life, specifically you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and you reconnected. I think we seen each other at the King
picnic.
Picnic. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We reconnected.
Just got out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you were introduced somewhat. Well, not in prison, but you took it further. You took it a little more serious, the acting, when you were there. And I'm assuming it's something that helped, keep your mind as well as, help you transition when you got out, because that wasn't something that I remember us necessarily talking about when you first got out, but I know you were trying to get into it. And this was some years ago. But over the last 2 years, you done been in how many different productions and plays and films?
Shoot. I'm on 5 on Tubi, streaming on Tubi right now. 2 stage plays. 2 coming out right now. I got Higher and Higher, the TV series about Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
That's coming out May the 4th.
Okay.
Yep, I got tickets, y'all. Praise, I was blessed to be in that.
Support, for sure.
I got People Movers. I'm playing a 70-year-old man.
Okay.
It's comedy. It's gonna be dope.
Okay.
I can't wait. That's sometime this summer. They
Yeah.
said something. I got those 2 coming, and I'm currently working on 5 projects right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, again, that's a lot of work. What turned it on for you? So, let me back up. Let me ask you this first. What was the transition like to do 17 years straight prison? Hard time.
Okay. Well,
You come out. What does that what does that look like?
Well, let's get into this book then.
Okay.
Because when I was in there, man, God ain't no joke, boy. When I was in there, man, I took a program. It was called RSAT.
Okay.
It's called RSAT program, right? It was 6 months program. From Monday through Friday, we getting up early in the morning to nighttime. We're in workbooks. We're gathering in the auditorium, and it was meant to get to the root of the problem or whatever you was going through. You know, it was people in there, man, that anything you can name that was tragic to go through their life to make them think that it was okay to do what they did.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we look on the surface like, why you start smoking weed? Well, because I was hanging with my friends. No. Why you start smoking weed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who was around you? Who was your parents? Who was around you? Was you feeling lonely? Did you feel neglected?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make you want to think that was okay to put a substance in your mind or put a gun to somebody for me to rob somebody.
Right.
You know, what made me think that it was okay to put a gun to somebody and take their hard-earned money?
Right.
You know, so it helped you get to the root of it. And it dealt with feelings. You know, a lot of times as men, we say, oh, man, you and your feelings. First of all, God gave us feelings to feel. You know, at this particular time and place, everything is time and a place in it. But, and I know, you know, as men, we pose, even though we have our particular feelings, I always say keep the I over the E. Keep the intelligence over the emotions. So it's okay to go through your feelings. Just make sure you're placing it properly.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
And a lot of times I learned that as men, we're taught not to cry. You know, be strong, this and that and everything. Like something wrong with crying. Jesus cried.
He did.
Jesus wept.
Yes,
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, he wept for his people doing bad. He wept for his homeboy who died. You know, so a lot of times we say we mad because it's easier to say.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to say as a man, I was hurt. I was ashamed. I was afraid.
Wow.
But that's the primary feeling. Mad is the secondary feeling. Mad comes after you was hurt. That's why you mad.
Yeah.
Because you hurt my feelings.
Dealing with the root.
And we're afraid to tell somebody that. We're afraid to express our feelings in that manner because we don't want to look weak. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We worried about what somebody thinking.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid, man. I'm in there, got people come, did 17 straight. So I got people coming in and out. He did 5 years and he came right back in 6 months, or so-and-so got killed as soon as he got out there.
Wow. And
some of these people, I kind of knew, you goofy.
Yeah.
You ain't going, it wasn't no surprise. But some people, talking the talk, 'cause a lot of us talk it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just like some of us out here, I'm going to do this and do that, procrastinating, So I'm like, dang, man. My man came back and, they embarrassed.
Yeah.
So they not telling the truth what happened. The fact that they kept on getting caught doing this, doing that, so they got brought back because of their foolishness.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard out there, man. They tripping. They don't give the guy a job. They don't let this and that. So, man, I was afraid. I was afraid to come out here because I knew in my heart, I knew that I was for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I was for real, man. And I just thank God, man, for giving me the strength, man, to continue, man. And, I ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? I still procrastinate sometimes and, whatever, this and that. But,
How important was family and friends in that transition? And I ask that because, again, it's like you're being reintroduced to people and they're trying to figure out, who is this guy? Did you get that, or was people open arms and basically like, hey, whatever you need, we got you?
It was both.
Okay.
It was a mix.
Yeah.
I can see the eyes on me. You know what I'm saying? At the Thanksgiving dinner, with grandmama and them, and I could see people looking at me like, is he crazy? Because we heard certain stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all hear stuff, and then some of it's true.
Yeah.
Some of it's true. You know what I'm saying? Because people in there, losing their mind, man, and they coming out here what we call institutionalized.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though you may not see it on the surface, and I don't know, you my homeboy, so I don't know, maybe you do see a little bit, but I mean, I'd be naive to say that I ain't institutionalized to some extent.
Right.
17 years straight.
Yeah.
I was in there like a dog, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Telling you go out and play, and then call you, get back on in here.
Right.
Time to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The bell ring.
Right.
So of course, and everything that I may do because of the result of being in there and going through that experience, it's not negative.
Definitely.
Because I had time to sit back and, like I say, retrospect, and I can see things because I ain't moving. We out here moving like this. So we don't realize what we really doing and what's really going on in the world. The stuff that's right in our face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Conscious, you know what I'm saying? Science is simple for the conscious mind.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I'm sorry, but as far as the family and everything, yeah, I had some people, hey, you can do it, love you, embrace, you know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even want to start talking about that thing.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's real, and the reason why I'm asking these questions is because, again, I think it's important to hear somebody talk about a real experience instead of something that you read in the paper or you seen on a TV series, and they make going to jail look cool, they make it look festive,
right?
And that ain't the reality, as well as what it really looks like to experience that and then come out, and in my eyes, you're doing well, bro. Like you're doing better than some people they've done 17 years on the outside. 20 years, 30 years, 50 years on the outside, and still struggling with certain things because they didn't find a certain sense of center and peace that you were able to find, and in God and in family and in focus, deciding, man, I'm gonna take responsibility for my own actions. I'm not blaming nobody, and I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna work. Like, you got out here and you worked, and I believe everything that you have is because of that, because you were willing to do what it took, without making excuses, without blaming anybody. And as men, we gotta be accountable one to another.
Yeah, most definitely.
And we have to be responsible for ourselves. I'm raising 3 boys, and we tell them all the time, the only person you can control is you. Like you can't manipulate people to make them do what you want them to do, or you can't continue to blame what it is you're going through on somebody else. Like it's always somebody else's fault. Now let's be real. We know things, situations, it contributes, it can, but even in that, the only person you can change and control is you. So you gotta be accountable to you. And so, that's an important message, that we have to be able to share, with our young men as well as our aged men. It's just important.
Yeah, you're right. I agree, man. You only can control your own actions and your own thoughts. And my daddy used to always say, because I used to be, getting off into stuff, mischief, and whatever. He say, hey, man, every time you ain't do it, it's somebody else's fault. Everybody lying on you, man. At church, and these people are not connected. These people, it ain't like they ganged up and say, hey, look, this is what we gonna say about Armando. It's church, the neighborhood, school, everybody lying on you, man.
Wow.
It's something about yourself, and that's the part I said about the retrospect. That always resonated with me when he said that, like, well, dang, if this person said this, that person said, like, I got to work on the fact that to be, like, I'm a person, I'm a candid person. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if I feel a certain way about a person, or I think something, I feel like, man, I got to be a man, and, I got to approach them and tell them I ain't talking about nobody behind their back and stuff like, but I got to learn not to be so aggressive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got to be assertive, not aggressive, and not passive either. Speak my mind, but because, it's too many people say, man, the way you said that, though, I'm homeboy, I can take it. But the way you said it, then my lady, and I say, okay, that's something I got to work on. I got to be mindful and how and what I say, even though I don't mean no harm. I know I don't mean no harm to some people that know me, but that's not the point. I got to learn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want to be better.
Right.
I want people looking at me like, man, Armando be tripping, man. Well, somebody go do that anyway. I don't care if you do everything right. So,
for sure. Well, listen, man, I'm enjoying the conversation so far, and I want to, keep it going. It's a few more things that we definitely need to get into about your life, your story, where you come from, where you going, and even some of the stuff that you're doing right now.
East Side.
Yes, sir. All day. So I just want to take a brief break and acknowledge some of today's sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by Com2 Cree. Are you planning an event? With Com2 Cree, your event is safe with me. From intimate gatherings to grand celebrations, we bring your vision to life with perfection. Contact us at com2creeevents1@gmail.com or call 313-334-8431. Com2 Cree, where your events become unforgettable. Also, Casara's Cakes and Treats. Indulge in sweetness at Casara's Cakes and Treats, where every bite is a masterpiece. From custom cakes to delicious treats, we make your celebrations unforgettable. Visit us on Facebook at Casara Cakes and Treats or call 313-286-4130 today and ask for Sharice. Your taste buds will thank you.
You got that Barry White voice.
For real deals, transform your car buying experience with a For Real Deal. Changing the narrative in automotive sales. Become an informed buyer with expert guidance from Lynnsburg Petway. Visit us at www.forrealbrand.com today and drive away confident. Man, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, those that are helping us to be able to bring this conversation to you live. And we definitely want to keep it going. Man, this is real. This is real. I've always known you to be, you know, a stand-up guy. Like I said, you know, when we was in college together. So when I heard, you know, what had happened, I was like, huh? You know, like, what? No, that ain't. Are you sure? What would you have to say? What would you want to tell somebody who's, you know, a parent? You know, they bringing up their child, and it seemed like, you know, maybe they're the same kind of person. Like your father saw, you know, you always in trouble, and it's always somebody lying on you. It's always somebody else's fault, or it just looks like maybe they're not going in the right direction. What would you say to that parent or, you know, that child that may be listening in terms of what you would maybe what you would do different, or maybe what you would want to encourage them to avoid in, you know, in their decision making?
Well, like you said, man, you ain't the only one who said, what? For real?
Yeah.
You did what?
Yeah.
Cause, you know, I just grew up in PK, man. I grew up in PK.
Wow.
Always had a job. Y'all think, you know, I always had a job,
Right.
doing something.
So was your father a pastor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are your parents still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Together.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So it's like I grew up, and my dad, you know, just like everybody got a background story. He wasn't a preacher his whole life.
Right.
You know.
Right.
He was, you know, running the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also making bad choices. But one day God touched him, man, and he turned his life over totally.
Mm-hmm.
When I say totally, brother,
Yeah.
I ain't playing, man. A joke was a lie. No, seriously.
Yeah.
A joke was a lie.
Wow.
And so he in turning his life around, doing the 180, he, you know, he the head of the household. So he felt like, as you know, as me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Literally what the Bible say, flat out, right now.
Yes, sir.
Everybody stop what you're doing right now, just like I am. I made up my mind, I'm making yours up for you. Nah, I love my dad, man. He be representing, man, for real. But he could have had more balance, man. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to I was like, shoot, I look back and almost, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to sound harsh or funny about it, but I almost sound like I was prepared for prison. I was on so many punishments, and my punishments was like a real punishment. Come in straight from school to your room, no TV, phone, come up, eat dinner, go back to, and you going to church, and that's it.
Wow.
That's it. I'm watching people out the window.
Wow.
Play.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Sneaking, trying, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'll be getting on punishment for any little thing. You know what I'm saying? Any little thing. So I stayed on the lot. Then I went to job court. Job court was ran like prison, shaking you down, and you get in trouble, can't go home on the weekend. You get in trouble in prison, you can't go get no goodies from commissary and all that old crazy stuff. Right. So I would say to the parent, you know, I wound up getting in the gang at job court too. So I mean, I would you know, say to the parents, because he always would chastise me, but it was like he had the fussing down pat. You know what I'm saying? But I'd be thinking like, dang, I wonder if which everything happens supposed to happen, you know. But I'm just saying, I wonder if he would have, not only when he fussed, I wonder if he would have like told me why not, or showed me different options if I do it this way. Yeah. If he would have took me in front of the liquor store and showed me them my old friends, him right there, he used to do this and that, and had me talk. You understand what I'm saying? If he had more balance, I wonder if I wouldn't have. You know, because I felt like a dog on a loose chain. When I went with my daddy, I'm ready to get into whatever. Wow. You know, I was already quick to fight, you know what I'm saying, and everything. So I'm ready to do whatever. And a lot of stuff I did by myself. I used to start stealing and stuff. People didn't know that. I was stealing the fair state. I was breaking in people's rooms. Mike, you ain't know that?
I had no idea, bro.
I got you one day. No, I'm just joking. Hey, look. No, I used to walk down the hall and I look at the shadows. If it's only one shadow, that means it was unlocked. And I look at the peephole. If the peephole was light, that means ain't nobody looking out. So I knock on the door. Hey, Joe, what's up? Where you at? And I slide up in that thing. Yeah, man. I used to, man. I used to be tripping, man. So, but if I see the parents, take time, man, and have a little more balance. Of course, you got chest time, but you got to have that love, too.
Yeah.
You just can't beat them down and don't pick them up.
Yeah.
And give them alternatives. Show them why not. Break it down and explain to them.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, that's real. And I asked that question because sometimes we just don't know. And you think as a parent, pretty much the way you raise your children, a lot of it comes out of how you were raised. Mm-hmm. So if you got beat, you beat your children. You know, if you got fussed at, you fuss at your children, but
right.
you don't realize the options or the other alternatives, like you're saying, mm-hmm. having that balance. Because the Bible say, spare the rod, spoil the child. Mm-hmm. Also say raise up a child in the way that they should go, and when they get older, they won't depart. And so, but there definitely has to be a balance. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good, piece of advice and a good word for parents, to create a balance. Because we good at fussing, but we're not always good at explaining. And especially, our generation, our parents wasn't explaining nothing. You just do what I tell you to do.
Right.
That's it. There ain't no. I don't need to give you an explanation.
Ain't no doubt.
But I get where you're coming from. It could. You don't know for sure, but maybe it would have helped you a little bit.
And I see that looking back now. I'm older and I'm going through life. You know what I'm saying? That he was in a transformation doing something that he never done before.
Yeah.
So he was struggling against his own demons that was trying to keep pulling him back. They ain't want him to be a man of God.
Yeah.
So so he's still fighting everything. So that's why more anger will probably come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, I told you that. You know what I'm saying? Meaning the right thing, not wanting me to go down the same road.
Right.
But he was trying to, you know what I'm saying, learn to start loving on himself for real.
Yeah.
He stopped everything. When I say everything all at once, if he got a mink coat for some lady that he wasn't supposed to, he gave it away. Went to Belle, broke the gun down, threw it in the lake.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Took all this jewelry that he done won gambling or whatever, all the big old Egyptian ladies, all those, got rid of it.
Wow.
I'm talking about he was serious, brother. He's still serious. He the man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, we've talked a lot. We talked about the acting stuff. Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur spirit and some of the things, some of the businesses that you have, and how did you transition into that? How long have you had the businesses? What exactly do you do? And how's it going?
Well, like I said, man, a lot of stuff was already embedded in me. I grew up, man, shoveling snow, cutting grass. Mm-hmm. I was the guy outside with the lemonade stand for a quarter with the foam cups.
Yeah, that's what's up.
What I mean?
Yeah.
We got the lemonade, we got the fruit punch.
Now, did you see somebody else doing it and you said, "Hey, I want to do that," and so you jumped on it, or was it something that was just in you, like, "No, I just got a hustler spirit and I just gotta get out here and get it"? Like, did you have somebody you was looking up to, like an older somebody, or was it just something that was in you?
As far as working and hustling, I never had a problem with it. But my daddy helped bring it out even more. One morning, he I was scared of him because he was just fussing. I'm like, man, I don't even want to watch TV in front of him because if they cuss, he's gonna get to talking about what they doing is cussing. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's why I can't invite him to
some of this stuff.
Right. I got this one coming up. I'm like, man, so. Man, it's dark outside, so he come down in the morning. Hey, man, go out there and shovel the snow. I'm thinking he talking about our snow. I go outside, I shovel. I'm like, hey, man, it's not in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I shovel the snow. I go back to bed. He come back down there. I say, hey, man, I thought I told you to go out there and shovel the snow. I'm like, trip. I said, I did. Mm-hmm. He said, no, man. Because, we stayed right across the street, Mac, Indian Village on the other side. Okay. Them big old houses. Yeah. He said, no, man, instead of you asking us for money, you might want to go to the movies, might want to buy something, whatever, do something. We ain't got it. You get it on your own. I'm talking about go out there and get them people ready for work. You get them early, they get, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got up, and I'm so mad. I'm out there, I'm walking like, man, this dude this and that. Then I got out there, I started shoveling that snow, putting that money in my pocket. I was like, heck yeah. I hope he wake me up tomorrow.
So he was actually teaching you something.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope he wake me up tomorrow, boy.
That's a lesson for some of the young people that's listening too. You know, our parents, us as adults, we mean well. And the things that we're teaching you or trying to teach you, you don't always get it at first. And, you know, sometimes you fussing and you mad at us, but, you know, it's all for a purpose. If we can just hang in there. And it's like we all learning and growing together. Like, we ain't got it all together. You trying to get it together, and, you know, we got to work together.
Amen.
Yeah. Man, so... This has been good, man. I'm definitely gonna have to have you back. I know we didn't get into a lot of, but before we jump into this next part.
I don't even know if I answered the question.
No, you didn't, man. You did. You started it. You like
the hustling spirit or something. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm tripping.
No, you good.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm really tripping. I need to be doing this.
No, you're a natural storyteller, which is why we got to get this book out. Which is why we got to make sure you doing more engaging and speaking.
Yeah, we got to get started.
Yeah,
I'm about to digress real quick.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to get connected to one of my buddies, man. He a real good guy. And he believe in building community in the youth. His name is Jerry Grayson, 2 times focused. And that's my guy, man. And we're I'm talking about when I say he's serious, like as far as the business, like I'm raw and I talk to you like, but as far as like the business side and making syllabus and everything, like he really getting out there. He going to Eric Thomas and them seminars and taking classes and certifications. So I'm about to link up with him, man, and start getting more into the mentorship or whatnot. But I got Armando's VIP Cuts. I'm a mobile barber.
No.
I'm a mobile barber. I got everything that the barbershop got. You can't name nothing except the sink. And I literally mean that. You could try to name it. You can't name it.
So literally everything but the kitchen sink.
But the sink. I got the chair to pump up spin. I'm coming.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
If it's too hot, I'm pulling the fan out. You know what I'm saying? I got the music. I got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, ain't enough light here. Let me put my ring light out.
Wow.
Yeah, I got everything. Matter of fact, hold on. You coughing too much. Give me your forehead. Let me see if you got COVID. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got everything. But and I pull up all Detroit Metro. Yeah. That's Armando VIP Cuts. I got the LLC in that, and I also got the LLC and Armando's Body Right.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because Armando get that body right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I be training at the gym, man. I got a membership at LA Fitness, and I got
whatever don't kill you will make you stronger.
Right. Come on, get started. Don't try to be slick.
I'm just saying I'm a witness that he will definitely get the body right. But whatever don't kill you will definitely make you stronger.
Oh my goodness.
Inside joke.
Right. Oh my goodness. You got your wife about to jump on the table. Man, I'm glad I'm close by the door. Well, yeah, man, I got the LLC in both of them. And when I started this acting, which I said I've been doing, but I'm talking as far as like big screen, like I'm going serious, another level, this and that. Man, I was at the plant, and I was a high-low driver for the UAW. Right before I was there for 7 years. 5 years before the COVID came, they got us coming in after they say, okay, come on back, they talking about they got to make up, catch up. They had us coming in 6 days a week. I was going from 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day except Sunday. And I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, 3 months or whatever, this and that. And they go 6 months. I'm like, come on, man, they tripping. And then couple things came up because Oscar, our homeboy Oscar, he called me for a commercial 2 times for some clothes or whatever, and I couldn't do it.
Right.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And people call me about haircuts. I'm like, that's another whole family I probably could have made a impression on.
Right.
Well, she knows she ain't got to be taking her 3 little boys, and I keep on being at work all the time.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So another year came. Man, it lasted for 2.5 years, brother. And I kept on saying, man, I'm about to quit. Then one day I just said, man, I just got to leave, man, because I never reach my goals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will never reach my fullest potential in the things that I'm trying to do to put in Armando King name.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But it's been hard, man.
Yeah.
When I quit that, I was like, okay, because I've been Ubering for 8 years. I've been doing that, so I knew I could make some money Ubering, but you got to be out there, though.
Yeah.
The money ain't coming like, it ain't coming like that. They taking 55-60% of each ride.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then the gas high.
Yeah.
So it's been a struggle, brother.
Yeah.
I'm talking about been a struggle, brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't been doing, all that good. Praise God, you know what I'm saying? But I got a couple clients here, a couple clients there.
For sure.
And I couldn't expect like it's just go blow up like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I got to stick in there. I just got to just keep pressing forward, man. And then now I'm out here, I got to try to drive and do Uber because if I don't work, I can't pay my bills. So at the same time, I got to be studying these lines.
Yeah.
I got to go to rehearsal. I got to go on set. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm getting behind on this bill, that bill. I'm like, and I ain't about to stop.
That's the part I wanted when we first started this conversation. You talk about the real deal because again, people like seeing, they like pulling up to the theater. They like seeing their favorite actor, actress, whatever it is. And then, sometimes people look at them and they think, hey, yeah, I can do that. But it's all the stuff that happened before that hit, all the stuff that happened, before that break. And again, if you don't get broke first, and what you're doing is, one, you're doing it right, you're doing it the right way, and two, you're taking your time, and you feeling the pain, the pressure of what it's like to have to struggle and go through. Again, you had a job, and it wasn't, so it ain't like you lazy, right. Don't want to work.
I was doing good,
but you didn't want to allow a job to get in the way of what your purpose is.
Right. I didn't want to look back and say, I wish I.
Yeah.
What if I?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, just how far I got.
Yeah.
I'm shooting mine.
Yeah. That's real. That's real. Wow. I hope that's encouraging to somebody. Just to, again, this is a brother who has overcome. And we're all overcoming, right? Like nobody's perfect. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody has it all together. But part of this show is to be able to just show people that's just like you, that's struggling and finding a way to overcome. Somebody who had both parents, who went to left high school, went to Job Corps, went to college, and still, found a way to not make the best decisions. And through that, had to make a choice. Either I'm going to stay the same or I'm going to change. And, he decided to change. And now he's living he's living on the other side of that change. And, man, if this brother can do it, you have no excuse. I have no excuse. That's just keeping it real. Like, and so, man, we can definitely keep talking. I know we really barely even scratched the surface. Like, I know there's so much more story you can tell. And the reality is, again, like I said, that's why I'm saying it live. It's gonna be out in the atmosphere. I'm gonna help you get this book done.
Man.
I got one done.
And one more on the way.
Working on another one. And because I think it's important for you to be able to have a platform where one thing about writing a book, it's gonna live longer than you. Once it's published, it's out here, right? Like it's here,
right?
And it's something that you can pass on to whomever. Something that somebody can pick it up, and you never know. Even if it's one person, it could be that right one person that they read your story and it prompts them to make a different choice because they realize you did. So real quick, man, you shared a lot about, who you are and, your real story. And, I learned some stuff about you. And again, I've been knowing you for years. I don't know everything, but just want some fun facts, man. Just some fun facts. And just ask you some questions and, just be honest.
Oh, my goodness.
So, it's real simple. We're gonna start off real simple. Then we're gonna get a little deep. So you cats or dogs?
Say it again.
Cats or dogs? What's your preference? Cats or dogs? If you had a choice.
If I had a choice,
Are you a pet person, period?
Nah, not for real.
So
They both okay. Man, probably cat.
All right, that's what's up. You a morning or a night person?
Morning.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee mostly.
Would you hang out in the beaches or on the beach or the mountains?
You say the beaches or the mountains?
Yeah, like, would you, if you had a choice, your day off, I'm gonna
Beach.
chill at the beach or go, climb a mountain.
I'll do both, but beach mostly.
That's what's up. Super strength or super speed? Which one would you prefer?
Super strength or super speed.
Pizza? You a pizza or burgers guy?
Man, pizza my favorite.
I ain't mad.
My favorite.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
For real.
Books or movies?
Movies.
That's what's up. I mean, you're an actor. I mean, I expect you.
Right. I usually only read stuff that I need to obtain, though. I'm
That's
just
what's
wasting time.
Yeah. Summer or winter?
Summer.
City or countryside?
City.
You a texter or a caller? Texting or calling?
Texter, I guess.
That was up. I mean, a lot of people like, man, you text them and they gonna pick up the phone and call you.
It depends on the situation. If it's got to be hurry up, skip that text. Let me call you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be, and what would you be called?
Dang, you should have texted me so I could think about it. Superhero power.
Yep.
Superhero.
You can just name something that's out there. You ain't gotta be all deep. You know what I'm saying? Just, do you like? For me, like growing up, I think the Hulk was my guy.
This is a dream that I done had off and on my whole life, where it seemed like I think it's a school building or something, and it's a fire or something, and I know how to fly, so I went to save everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I couldn't fly like Superman. I wasn't that good, but I could run and I could fly a little bit, and I kept on using that gift to save. I always saving somebody from the building or something.
Well, that's what's up. One more question: if you could time travel, what would you go back? What would you do? Would you go back to the past or the future, and where exactly?
You should have said to these questions.
Dang.
Just pick one: past or future.
Man, future or something, I guess. Right. Just pick one.
Where exactly would you go in the future?
Dang. Man, I don't know.
That's all right, man. We'll get you later.
I'm
getting them on the first episode.
Dang.
So listen, man. This you do know. I know you got to answer this question. Tell people how they can keep in contact with you and follow your journey.
Okay. On IG, I'm Armando King 76. Facebook, that's Armando King.
That's what's up.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's Armando King.
Listen, I need you to keep up with this guy. You definitely gonna hear his name. You definitely gonna see him out and about doing this thing. If you need a cut,
Appreciate it.
if you need to get your body right, or if you're looking for that next big superstar actor, this your guy.
Yeah.
Look him up, Armando King. Let's give it up one more time for Armando King.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Again.
Listen, thank you all for tuning in to this is the first podcast, the first of many. Looking forward to next year. Not next year. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this into next year, but next week and then the rest of this month we got some very important people just like today that will hopefully continue to engage you and empower you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm leave you with one word as my Mike's motivational moment, and that's move. In the beginning, I talked about fear paralyzing you. I need you to move. Whatever that thing is that's been keeping you stuck, that's been keeping you still, today is that last day. I need you to move. Let's get it. Let's go.
Nice. Move.
Yes, sir. I'm Mike Sears, and this is the Black Male Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.